Yo, y'all better sit all the way down for this one, because what just hit the internet is about to shake the entire rap game to its core. The streets are screaming, fans are shocked, and the industry, low-key in panic mode. Late last night, a mysterious audio recording surfaced online, and if what's being claimed is true, then YSL's own Young Thug might have just named none other than Lil Durk in connection with some heavy criminal activity. That's right, the Slime King himself, currently fighting for his life in a high-stakes RICO trial, is being accused of snitching on the voice of the streets. The audio? It sounds real. Too real. We hear someone with a deep southern drawl, eerily close to Thug's voice, speaking on Durk's alleged ties to a violent incident that's been under investigation for over a year. And what's even crazier? The internet is split. Some fans are calling cap. Others say it's proof Thug's ready to do whatever it takes to beat the case. And y'all, this is just the beginning. From leaked DMIs to Instagram unfollows, this story has twists you will not believe. Stay locked in. Just hours after the alleged audio leak hit the web, social media exploded. Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, every platform lit up like a wildfire in the middle of the night. And the question on everybody's lips: did Young Thug really just hand over Lil Durk's name to the feds? At first, nobody believed it. People said the audio had to be AI. Others swore it was edited. But as more snippets dropped and deeper analysis started rolling in, that's when the paranoia began. It wasn't just the voice, it was the details, specific dates, incidents that weren't even public knowledge. Somebody either had inside information, or they were the inside, and here's where things get dark. According to sources close to the Wild Camp, that audio was recorded weeks ago during a private meeting between Thug and prosecutors. Nobody was supposed to know, but somebody in the room was wearing a wire, and apparently they were paid handsomely to leak it. The rumor, 6 figures, in cash, quiet, off the books, all to expose a moment Thug probably never thought would see the light of day. The voice on the tape, sounding eerily calm, mentioned a certain Chicago affiliate being involved in an orchestrated retaliation that allegedly happened after a 2022 shooting in Atlanta. The affiliate, fans quickly pieced it together. The timeline matched Lil Durk's brief but mysterious trip to Atlanta that year, something he never addressed publicly. Until now, that is, because just minutes after the leak went viral, Durk posted a cryptic message on his story. Black background, white text, no tags, no names. Just 7 chilling words. They always fold when it get real. Boom. That was it. Fans instantly knew who that was for. Blogs went crazy. Academics reposted it. Candidly, Cassie jumped on live, saying she'd never seen the rap game this messy. And Say Cheese was dropping tweets like every 2 minutes, keeping the streets updated, blow by blow. But behind the scenes, it was even worse. Inside, while things were falling apart, sources close to Thug's team said several members were blindsided by the leak. One of them, who asked to stay anonymous, said there was yelling inside the courtroom holding area when the audio surfaced. "We thought everything was sealed. How the hell did this get out?" The source allegedly asked, shaking their head. During a phone call, meanwhile, back in Chicago, Durk's crew was going into lockdown mode. Nobody was answering phones. O Block was quiet, like eerily quiet. Usually, the block is buzzing. Not this time. Not when your name just got dragged into a federal investigation by one of the most high-profile defendants in America. And then came the family drama. Durk, single quotes as cousin who's been trying to stay out of the spotlight, allegedly broke down in tears during a phone call with his mom, saying he was tired of all this industry snakes *T and didn't sign up for this kind of war. The fear in his voice was real. Nobody expected Thug, of all people, to point fingers, especially not at someone like Durk, who had publicly supported him just last year during the initial wave of arrests. Let's not forget, Durk was one of the few big names who sent love to Thug when Wall first got indicted. He even tweeted free slime multiple times and was spotted rocking a Wild hoodie at a show. But loyalty, apparently, don't mean nothing when the feds are stacking years against your head. And Thug, he's been under pressure. Serious pressure? This ain't your regular case. This is a full-blown RICO. They got lyrics, surveillance, text messages, even social media posts being used as evidence. And with Gunna already catching heat for allegedly cooperating, Thug's legal team has been fighting an uphill battle just to keep him from sinking. But what really shocked fans was the silence from Gunna. Normally, Gunna quick to respond. Memes, music, tweets. He'll let the internet know how he feels. But this time, not a word, not a whisper, no post, no reaction. And that's when the theories started flying. Did he know about the tape before it leaked? Was he trying to distance himself? Or worse, was he next? Some fans think Gunna Mitov been the one who recorded the conversation. It's a wild theory, sure. But in this climate, nothing feels too far-fetched, especially when you consider that Gunna and Thug haven't been spotted together, or even liked each other's posts in over a year. One fan tweeted, "This ain't even beef no more. This some Game of Thrones type betrayal." And honestly, they weren't wrong. By the time night fell, multiple fan pages started dissecting the leaked audio line by line. Voice analysis experts were brought in. Even Clubhouse lawyers started weighing in, saying the tape could be admissible in court depending on how it was obtained, which would mean Thug Mitov actually tied Durk to a federal case. And Durk's response? Silence. Again, that's when the energy shifted, because silence from Durk. That's rare. Usually, if someone crosses a line, he'll clap back. Music, live, even a tweet. But this time, nothing but that single ice-cold story post. The silence was loud, but someone else wasn't so quiet. King Von's sister jumped into the mix. She went live and said, "Ain't no way slime folding like that. Y'all believe anything?" But then, mid-live, someone in her comments asked if she'd spoken to Durk since the tape dropped. She paused, eyes got wide, and then the live ended abruptly. That moment had fans rewinding the clip over and over. Was she hiding something? Was she protecting Durk? Or was she just caught off guard? Whatever it was, the internet smelled blood. And blogs ate it up. Meanwhile, the feds are reportedly taking this leak seriously. Insiders claim they're reviewing the authenticity of the audio and might reopen certain files if the information checks out, which could mean even more heat for Durk whether the audio is real or not. Just the idea that he's tied to anything in Thug's case, enough to bring unwanted attention from prosecutors. And as for Thug's team, they released a brief statement through their lawyer, denying any official cooperation with authorities and claiming the audio was doctored to misrepresent his words. But that only added fuel to the fire, because if the audio was fake, why did it sound so real? And why didn't Thug immediately come out himself and shut it all down? That's the part that had fans on edge. Usually, when it's false, rappers post instantly, deny everything, threaten lawsuits, something, but this time, Thug's camp was quiet. Too quiet. By the end of the night, the tension had reached a boiling point. And just when people thought the storm was over, another twist dropped. A text message screenshot, allegedly from a Wild affiliate, started circulating. It read, "If you think he ain't fold, wait till part 2 drops. Shasterisk T, gonna get even uglier." And that's where things really started to spiral. What part 2? Who has it? And what's in it? Fans, bloggers, and even industry insiders were all bracing for what could come next. And the fear wasn't just for Thug or Durk. If this leak leads to real charges or retaliation, the entire landscape of the rap game might change forever. And just as the clock hit midnight, within hours of that chilling text making its way around Twitter and Reddit, the entire culture was on high alert. Blogs began titling posts with things like Part 2 incoming and Durk about to be done. The rumors were so loud, even mainstream news sites started sniffing around, trying to verify what exactly was going on. But deep in the underground where the real connections live, people already knew. The next bomb was coming. By 6 a.m. the next morning, Part 2 dropped. No warning, no teaser. Just a raw audio clip uploaded anonymously to a private Telegram group that quickly got leaked to Discord and then exploded on Twitter. This time, the voice was even clearer. Same southern drawl, same calm tone. But now it was way more personal. In the second clip, the speaker believed to be Thug alleged to be Thug leadly says the words. He was supposed to keep it clean. That man ain't just show up in Atlanta to perform. That retaliation? He planned that. Those 10 words shattered what little hope fans had that this was fake. Thug, who's always been viewed as one of the last real ones in the game, suddenly sounded like he was giving the government a play-by-play of an incident that's still under investigation. He didn't mention Lil Durk by name, but again, fans ain't dumb. They connected the dots, pulled the old tour schedules, checked who was in town and who wasn't. And it didn't stop there. The second audio clip ended with the voice saying, "He told me he wanted blood. I told him it was too soon." The internet lost its mind. Screenshots of fan reactions flooded Instagram. Clubhouse rooms filled to capacity. Even rappers started reacting publicly. 21 Savage tweeted 3 fire emojis and then deleted them 5 minutes later. Lil Baby liked Durk's old post from 2022 and then unliked it 30 minutes later. People noticed everything, and that's when Durk finally cracked around noon. Durk hopped on Instagram Live with a calm face but wild eyes. He didn't say. Thug's name didn't mention the audio, but he said this: "Look, I done kept it solid my whole life. And if anybody think I'm folding or tucking my tail over some fake audio, you out your mind. Stop playing with my name. I ain't never ran, and I damn sure ain't never snitched." The live barely lasted 2 minutes, but the message was clear. He wasn't taking this sitting down. And that little smirk at the end, it didn't feel like confidence. It felt like war. Behind the scenes, things were spiraling. A close friend of Durk, somebody from his early days in Englewood, allegedly called him that morning and begged him to stay out of the spotlight until things calmed down. "This bigger than music now," the friend reportedly said. "This turning into Fed bait." But Durk wasn't trying to hear that. He was angry, betrayed, and not just because of the leak. Word on the street is that him and Thug had a private conversation in 2022 about that very incident. Durk allegedly confided in him, man to man. Not on no paperwork. Not on no gangster code. Just 2 artists, brothers in pain, who had both lost people to the streets. So if Thug really did flip that moment and hand it over to the prosecutors, that wasn't just betrayal. That was warfare. And just when emotions couldn't get any higher, a new player entered the chaos. Durk's ex. India Royale, yup. The same India that held him down through the drama, the ops, the court dates, the one he publicly begged for back on stage. She posted something that made jaws drop across the culture. Sometimes the enemy don't come from the streets. He come from your little industry, brothers. Boom. That post had everybody spinning. Fans were divided. Some thought she was talking about someone else. Others said, "Nosh, seen everything. She knows who Durk trusted, and she knows when he feels crossed." And let's not forget, India been around for all the behind-the-scenes convos. If she's hinting betrayal, it's 'cause she's seen it up close. But it wasn't just posts and cryptic stories. It was also real world. Consequences. By that evening, a small studio in Atlanta was allegedly shot up. Nobody was hurt, but sources say that studio had been used by one of Wile's lesser-known producers the night before. Coincidence? Maybe. But with the timing, fans instantly connected the dots and speculated retaliation was already underway. The Atlanta PD reportedly increased surveillance in known Wile and OTF-associated areas. Helicopters were spotted flying low in Zone 6. Even Durk's security detail was reportedly beefed up, something his team didn't deny when asked by a major blog for comment. And back in Chicago, it got even weirder. A mural of Lil Durk that had been up for over a year suddenly got tagged with the words, "Snitches die slow." Now, whether that was aimed at him or meant to mislead the public, no one knows. But it showed how tense the city had become. Fans weren't just watching, they were reacting. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Atlanta's legal world was buzzing. There were whispers that someone in the DA's office was furious about the leaks. Not because of what was said, but because of how it was getting out. They weren't ready for the public to know this, especially not with jury selection starting soon. So now they were scrambling, trying to plug leaks, trying to figure out who inside their camp was recording these combos, and trying to understand just how far Thug's people lore someone else was willing to go to make sure he walked free. But while the courts panicked, Durk was plotting, according to someone close to his circle. Durk made a series of private calls that night, one to his label, one to his personal lawyer, and one to a certain legendary rapper from New York, known for surviving serious beef and bouncing back stronger. We won't name names, but let's just say, when he speaks, the streets listen. Allegedly, that combo ended with Durk saying, "I ain't folding. If they want smoke, I got fire." The next day, Durk dropped a teaser clip on Instagram. Black and white, no sound, just him sitting in a studio, hoodie pulled low, eyes locked on the camera. 10 seconds long. Then it cut to black and flashed 3 words. Truth, gone, bleed. Within minutes, the entire rap community was waiting on a diss track. Was he about to go at Thug? Was this his answer to all the leaks? But before the song could drop, another twist came in the form of a surprise arrest. Someone from the outer circle of Wile low-key associate, not well known to the public, was reportedly picked up by federal agents in connection to an unrelated weapons charge. But fans weren't buying the unrelated part. They knew better. They believed the feds were using the pressure to squeeze people, to get more names, more information, and maybe even more confirmations about the audio. And here's where things get scary. Someone claiming to be the arrested affiliate's cousin posted a long, emotional Instagram story saying the person was being held without bail and already getting threats from both sides. They ended the story with, "He ain't even no Thug said that sh*t. He just trying to stay alive now." The family was left divided. Some members allegedly want him to testify, clear his name, and stay safe. Others think that doing so would make him look like a snitch when he wasn't even involved in the first place. Imagine being caught between two of the biggest forces in rap history, all because your homie said your name in a taped conversation. But it wasn't just outsiders getting caught up. People started digging into Thug's past interviews. Moments where he praised loyalty. Moments where he talked about never turning on the people he came up with. One video clip from a 2018 interview resurfaced where Thug said, "I'll die before I point a finger at one of my brothers." The comments, brutal. Fans flooded the clip with snake emojis, crying face emojis, people saying, "Guess death came too close, huh?" But some fans were still riding for Thug. They said, "You never know what pressure the feds put on people." Behind closed doors, others blamed the system, saying, "They build this trap to break black men. Don't fall for it." Meanwhile, Ghana's name came back up again. This time, because an unreleased song leaked from his camp where he rapped. They tried to throw me in with snakes, but I don't hiss. Saw the mask behind the smiles, couldn't trust a kiss. Fans immediately connected it to Thug, especially that line about masks and kisses. Some believed Ghana had been warning everybody all along. And now he felt vindicated. But here's the part nobody saw coming. A hacker claiming to have access to court audio files jumped into the drama. He posted a series of tweets saying he had multiple unreleased tapes from the same meeting where Thug allegedly gave up Durk's name, and that if he got the right offer, he'd leak everything. People thought it was cap, until he dropped a 30-second clip where someone, allegedly one of the prosecutors, says, "If he names names, we'll talk about shaving the sentence." Now, this clip wasn't confirmed by any official, but fans didn't care. In their minds, it proved everything. Thug was bartering, making deals, and possibly dragging names into the mud just to get a better shot at freedom. That night, another shift happened. Durk finally dropped the track. It was called Folded Flags, and from the second the beat dropped, people knew what it was. First, bar used to scream slime till I lost my brother. Now I'm looking at the stand like who that undercover. The internet exploded. He never said Thug's name directly, but every line felt like a dagger. Said you'd die before you see. Told now you whispering to suits / how you pointing out the shooter when you've been one in the booth. And the hook. They folded. We noticed, but silence made me the coldest. It was personal, poetic, and painful. The video for the song, black and white. Durk walking through a cold city alone. No crew, no jewelry. Just a man feeling betrayed, and the final scene. A folded while hoodie tossed into a burning trash can, the message. Clear, but as fans debated who was really in the wrong, something even more insane happened. Someone inside Thug's camp leaked a private group text chat. In it, multiple names from the inner circle were arguing. One person wrote, "This whole thing falling apart." Another said, "I told him don't trust them people. Now look." But the line that shocked everyone. A message from a number of fans believe belongs to someone very close to Thug. It read, "They think this the last leak. It ain't. Just wait till Friday." And that's when the entire culture realized it wasn't over yet. By the time Friday rolled around, the internet was holding its collective breath. Fans were glued to their phones. Blogs had countdown timers on their pages. Even radio stations were hinting that something big was about to drop. And when it finally did, it wasn't another audio file. It wasn't a tweet. It wasn't even a diss track. It was a full-blown video. Anonymous drop. Deep web origins. Within 5 minutes, it was on YouTube. 31 minutes long. Grainy footage. Hidden camera angle. Looked like it was placed behind a vent or hidden in a light fixture. But the setting. Clear. A courthouse interview room. And in that room, young Thug. Sitting across from 2 men in suits. No sound at first. Just video, but then subtitles began to appear. Fans couldn't believe their eyes. Subtitles laid out a conversation that allegedly included Thug admitting to knowing about Durk's whereabouts the night of a certain 2022 incident. The same incident that's been floating through the entire story like a ghost. And the most damning line. He asked me if it was time. I told him not yet. If real, that's not just snitching. That's confirming intent. And in legal terms, intent is everything. But here's where it got crazy. A few minutes into the video, one of the men in suits says, "If you're willing to continue helping us, we can explore options." Thug leans back in his chair, stares at the ceiling, and nods. Boom, the culture erupted. This wasn't just betrayal now. This was chess. Power plays. Negotiations. Thug wasn't just naming names. He was allegedly playing the feds to protect himself. And Durk looked like just another piece on the board. Instantly, fan reactions split. Some couldn't believe what they were watching. They said it was fake, AI-generated, deep-faked. Others said not this, the raw truth. And in typical internet fashion, conspiracy theories started flying. Some people believed the entire situation was a setup from the start. They said Thug never trusted Durk, that the friendship was industry-forced. That behind the scenes, while in ATAs had tension going back years, stuff fans never saw. They said both Thug and Durk had made silent deals with the feds years ago, and now it was all unraveling. But amidst the chaos, someone broke their silence. A message came through Thug's legal team, this time directly from his lead attorney. It was posted on a neutral blog, not a major platform. In it, the attorney said, "The footage circulating is deeply misleading." Mr. Williams never made statements to incriminate any artist, including Mr. Banks. "We are aware of illegal leaks from inside the system, and we will be pursuing legal action." It sounded professional, clean, like damage control. But Durk wasn't playing polite. He jumped on live again, this time in full color, with energy like we hadn't seen since the early drill days. He paced. He talked directly to the camera. And he didn't hold back. "Y'all seen what y'all seen." If it was fake, they'd say that in the first 2 minutes. But nah. They waited till everybody watched it, felt it, got mad. Now they want to clean it up. "Man, miss me with that. No dummy." He didn't say Thug's name. But again, he didn't need to. Then came the twist nobody saw coming. Someone from within OTFA, former member, known for being quiet, went live and said something that changed the narrative. Everybody talking about what Thug said, but nobody asking why Durk was even involved in that situation to begin with. "Y'all think he innocent. Y'all think he ain't never made calls of his own." Fans were shook. The live ended fast. But it sparked a new conversation. Was Durk really just the victim here? Or was this mutual betrayal? Meanwhile, the music industry was spinning. Features were being pulled. Private events canceled. Brands started distancing themselves from both camps. Behind closed doors, executives were allegedly calling emergency meetings to reassess artist affiliations. It wasn't just bad press, was nuclear. And in the midst of that firestorm, Lil Baby broke his silence. He posted one tweet. No caption, just a photo of a chessboard. The king piece tipped over. That's it. And fans knew. Lil Baby had been close to both sides. Now he was saying without saying that the king had fallen. But who was the king? Was it Thug? For losing. The streets, or Durk, for getting played. As the smoke thickened, something even more dangerous started happening. Street retaliation rumors. There were unconfirmed reports of confrontations in Atlanta and Chicago. Some said a known affiliate of ATF was jumped. Others said a wild runner had gone missing. And though nothing could be verified, police presence doubled in hot zones across both cities. Insiders said they were trying to keep this rap war from becoming a real war, and for fans. That's when the entertainment stopped feeling fun. Now it was fear. People who'd been tweeting snake emojis and laughing at memes started deleting posts. Everybody wanted to be quiet, safe, uninvolved. because real consequences were starting to peek through the surface of the drama. But at the heart of it all was silence from Young Thug himself. No statement, no voice note, no tweet. Just a void, and that silence spoke louder than anything. Durk, meanwhile, began distancing himself from the situation altogether. He deleted a few tweets, canceled a scheduled interview, and reportedly flew to Dubai to clear his mind. People close to him say he's been thinking about walking away from music altogether, that the game got too dirty, too disloyal. One source even said he ain't built for this kind of betrayal. He can handle ops, but not brothers flipping. The whole story was leaving a trail of broken trust, broken alliances, and broken fans. People who once looked at Thug as untouchable, as the last real one, now questioned if the pressure was just too much. And Durk, once seen as the voice of the streets, now faced whispers about what else he might be hiding. But the biggest question: if part 1, 2, 3, and 4 leaked, what else is out there? Because the streets don't believe in coincidences, and the industry never sleeps. Just when